On the tightrope of life, only one thing allows us to move forward, and that one thing is balance. Good morning. Welcome to Cross Street Chapel's Sunday service. I'm grateful for your presence here, for whatever it is that has brought you into this time today. Not everyone is enjoying the day, I suppose, if you hear my son, who's a little distraught, just as well as the bells start. So if you've come here looking for a space of sadness and sorrow, a chance to share some tears, I hope that you will find comfort and care amongst this congregation. If you have come here looking for joy and laughter and celebration, I hope you are able to celebrate with one another as we move through the service. Perhaps you've come just looking for a chance for a few words of wisdom, and I hope they will be found. And if all you have come is a chance to rest with the divine, I hope you will find it here. So once again, thank you and welcome. We opened our service with the words of Laura Kangas, reminding us of the need for balance, which for me is, at the moment, is a reminder of the need for self-care. And I hope that, however you are, that you can take stock of the balance within your life. So now we turn to our chalice, which I have Cross Street's chalice here. You might have something of your own. It might be a full chalice, it might be a small tea light or an electric light. Even if you have none of those, you have the opportunity to turn to that inner light within that spark of inspiration and guidance that affirms the inherent worth and dignity of yourself and all people. So we turn to that and we give recognition and thanks for it, for our community, as we light our chalice. With these words by Annie Dillard. We light this chalice to abet creation and to witness to it, to notice each other's beautiful face and complex nature, so that creation need not play to an empty house. And to hope that this isn't an empty house, it certainly isn't here, but wherever you're listening, so that we might feel full of community and connection, I invite you to recite along with me our covenant, which was developed by the congregation a few years ago. We gather here in sacred fellowship to witness the fullness of our lives and all life, to hold and be held, tell stories and listen, to be renewed and renew the world. We speak with care and patience. We act with gentleness and compassion. We forgive each other and ourselves. In faith that we build beloved community, we renew our covenant today. So we've moved from the universal, our call to worship, to our specific faith tradition with the lighting of our chalice and our own community's covenant. We turn now to our moment of individual prayer with these words of the performance artist Marina Abramovich. Very simple today. We always strive to the future, or we long for something in the past, but we spend very little time in the present. A small prayer to remind us to be connected one to another, even in our distance, as we recognize the specific moment in which we exist, which is now. And to connect our community is, again, we turn to our first hymn with words by Anna Briggs. Now we sing to praise love's blessing all through our lives.
Dream
Thank you. A slight giggle with the Freudian slip there. So now we turn to two readings. The first by Catherine Spink, who has written a number of books on Mother Teresa, as well as her co-workers. This is from the book A Chain of Love. I don't know what has caused me to read so many articles lately on the subject of compassion, but I think we, as co-workers, are faced with compassion when we are with the poor and the lonely and the dying. Compassion asks us to go where it hurts, to enter into places of pain, to share in brokenness, fear, confusion, and anguish. Compassion challenges us to cry out with those in misery, to mourn with those who are lonely, to weep with those in tears. Compassion requires us to be weak with the weak, vulnerable with the vulnerable, and powerless with the powerless. Compassion means full immersion in the conditions of being human. When we look at compassion in this way, it becomes clear that something more is involved than a general kindness. And we turn from Catherine Spink to the Reverend Sharon Wiley, Senior Minister of the Chalice UU Congregation in San Diego, who speaks of wholeness. We speak so often of brokenness in religious life. Let us speak today of wholeness. You are welcome here, all of you, every part of you, beautiful, just the way you are. Here, you do not need to be something more or something less. No holding back, no hiding, no exerting yourself, no trying to do more or be more. You have inherent worth and dignity. Nothing to prove here. Nothing to prove to me or anyone else. You don't have to try and be witty or more quiet or more outgoing. You are beautiful, every part of you beautiful, just the way you are. You do not need to change anything about yourself to be welcomed here. Your skin, your hair, your belly, your limbs, your face, all beautiful, just the way they are. You are extraordinary. Each and every one of you, different from each, and beautiful in your own beautiful way. Breathtaking. Sharon Wiley's beautiful exaltation of the beauty of a congregation. We would normally have a sermon at this point, and I was going to say if I'm honest, which I hope I would be, it was a struggle to find the best words to convey things. I naturally veered towards these two readings, the need for compassion and the inherent worth and dignity, both qualities which I really hope Unitarians excel at, as we're so vocal about. I hope we can live up to those ideals, and as well be forgiving of ourselves, that self-compassion, when we find we don't live up to the ideals of affirming the inherent worth and dignity of each person. I was aware as well that tomorrow is International Women's Day, which is why our selection of readings and prayers, invocations, and chalice lightings all come from women. At the same time, I am very aware of the gatekeeping role that I've held in choosing these pieces, and I hope that I have chosen them honorably, and that whatever I'm able to speak, or whatever the selection says, is able to give honor to both those individual women as well as women around the world who face myriad struggles, many incomprehensible to men. I'm aware of the limitations of our chapel at the present. I'll speak more in the notices, but as you may be aware, we have an AGM coming up, which is an opportunity to elect a new committee. At present, our committee is completely filled with men, and it would be more than welcome to address this issue, to bring women into the fold, to find out how we can better serve women within the congregation and further afield. So just those few words of honesty. I didn't want to take up too much of the time beyond the beautiful words that are spoken, that are chosen and said and spoken and conveyed. So we turn now to our interlude. Welcome back. You now have a chance to share your joys and sorrows, your trials and your triumphs. If you want to share these publicly, please type them in the chat box and I will read them out. If you prefer to hold them in your heart, know that your presence here is enough. From Vicky, a candle for you and your family. Thank you. From Aaron. Oh, I haven't actually got the candles out. So that was from Vicky. A candle for what seems like a potential light at the end of the tunnel with regards to lockdown. Hoping this will at least be a smoothish transition to normality. From Catherine. A candle for my sister who is dealing with the worry of her youngest having a possible diagnosis of epilepsy. From Laura, a candle for our daughter Laura and family. From Alan, for Brian Lee, his funeral was this week. From Sarah, a candle for the joy of children going back to school tomorrow. From Vicky, one for those who are frightened by the prospect of children going back to school. And I light one for Terrence Hume, who is a resident of Tria's apartment complex, whose funeral I conducted this past week. And for all those joys and sorrows here spoken, and those that remain silently in our hearts. We turn now to a period of prayer with these words by Jean Olson. May we be brave enough to expose our aching woundedness and reveal our vulnerability. May we speak our deepest truths, knowing that they will change as we do. May we sing the music within us, composing our own melody, playing our song with all our heart. May we draw, paint, sculpt, and sew, showing the world our vision. May we write letters, poetry, biography, slogans, graffiti, the great novel, laying bare our words to love and hate. And may we love even though our heart breaks again and again. And until the end of our days, may our lives be filled with possibilities and courage. Amen. We now enter into a period of silence for reflection, meditation, contemplation, and personal prayer. Thank you, Kate and Catherine. Before we get to the notices, I'm sorry, there was one candle that I missed. It's from Douglas. I light a candle for my Quaker friend Allison having respite care. So, as is announced every week, if you are in need of pastoral care, if you are interested in joining our mailing list or contributing in some way to the service, please write to me at minister@crossstreetchapel.org.uk. We have our tea and coffee afterwards, after the service, and today's ID is listed there. It's 838-9792-7679 with the passcode CSC. We hope you can join us. If you need to pause this video to quickly jot that down, please do so. We're grateful as well for any donations that can assist the mission of our chapel. You're able to donate online at justgiving.com/crossstreetchapelmanchester. That's all spelled out in all one word. Or again, email minister@crossstreetchapel.org.uk for details about setting up a standing order. There we go. And as I mentioned before, if you are interested, our AGM will be on the 21st. That's in 2 weeks' time. If you are on our mailing list, or if you are a formal member of our chapel, you will have received a notification, as well as details on how you can either put your name forward to be on our committee, or nominate or second someone else, if there's someone you can think of that you feel would be particularly suited for a position on our committee. It's a fantastic event. It's unfortunate, of course, that it's being done over Zoom rather than our customary bring and share meal, though I'm sure we can all induce some level of jealousy by having something at our side that we wish we would be able to share with one another. And it's a great opportunity to hear about the chapel's past year, as well as its ambitions and goals, and again, serving that mission of being a liberal, tolerant, and respectful voice within Manchester and further afield. So we come now to our final hymn, Kate Compston's I Dream of a Church. Thank you to Aaron for his music. Thank you to Catherine, Kate, and Adam for your photos and videos and video editing. And thank you to all of you for creating and sharing worship today. We close with the words of Jane Addams. What, after all, has maintained the human race on this old globe despite all the calamities of nature and all the tragic failings of humankind, if not faith in new possibilities and courage to advocate them? Amen. Go in peace.